You see, anything that is going to stand against the corporatism that is being implemented by the criminal gang that we call the Australian government and the group of hired thugs known as the Australian Federal Police who carry out the will and are the muscle for this crime gang, anybody who stands against the corporate corruption that these organisations are promoting is considered to be a terrorist. We've got this tyrannical dictator, Julia Gillard, saying that people who don't vaccinate their children are going to lose tax benefits. They're saying that you have to be irradiated and have your DNA shredded if you're going to travel. They're saying that you have to have fluoride in your water so that your pineal gland is locked off and your brain matter is damaged. You're going to be forced to eat genetically modified food, which we know will cause sterility and organ damage a few generations down the line. And of course, while you're doing all of this, not only do you have to pay to be alive, but we are going to introduce a tax on your breathing. And of course, we're implementing all of this because we care about you and we are providing for your future, like the good custodians you employ us to be. And this is what this psychotic moron called Julia Gillard, who is running Australia, is doing to the Australian people. And the Australian people, because they only have a TV education, are just sitting there saying, everything's okay, I don't mind, the government is there to help me, when the government is simply in the process of raping this country and stealing everything they can from the people. And I've really had enough of it, folks. I honestly don't know what it's going to take for the people of Australia to turn Australia back into Australia rather than the apathetic alcoholics club that it currently is. But people certainly need to get on board and start making some noise about this situation because it really couldn't get more in your face. Well, I suppose it could get more in your face when people start developing real sicknesses from the things that are being forced upon us, but that might be a little bit down the track yet, and by that time it will be too late to do anything about it. You know, all of you people out there who aren't acting on this information, and all of the people out there who are allowing all of these things to be put in place, one day you're going to have to look your children and your grandchildren in the eye when they ask you what you were doing when this police state was being built around us. And you're going to have to say, well, I'm sorry, son, but I was too busy drinking beer, watching television, and gathering useless trinkets around me to ensure that you had a future. And that is, of course, only if your child and your grandchild have a world to live in, because if you fail to act on this information, it's very likely that they won't. And that's the thing, folks. I mean, when you take everything into account and you put it all in perspective, you look at things such as coal seam gas, look at the chemtrails, look at Fukushima, look at what's happening to this planet, and it's very unlikely that this planet is going to support life after perhaps the next 50 to 100 years. I mean, we were all worried about a scenario such as Brave New World or 1984 coming to pass, but the way things are going, it doesn't look like the planet will actually last that long. And it isn't because of anthropogenic climate change. It's because of government and corporate corruption. That is the problem. You know, the fact that this government is rolling out a carbon tax while they are selling the country off for coal seam gas mining, which is one of the most pollutive industries ever known to man, is a complete joke and should be enough to wake up anybody to the fact that their government is lying to them. All a carbon tax is a tax on breathing. That's all it is. It will do nothing to prevent pollution because the government is selling the place off to mining industries quicker than you can make pancakes. And that's what's causing all the pollution. And yet they're going to tax you for breathing because they say carbon is the problem. You are the problem. Next thing, they'll be bringing in short breath hour where you're only allowed to fill half your lungs for the next 30 minutes because you're breathing too much air. I mean, I don't know where these people are going, but they're a bunch of psychotic lunatics, and they're just getting away with all of this rubbish because everybody's brainwashed by what their television is telling them. Everyone has this television version of reality going on in their mind, and they think it's true. You go and talk to anybody on the street, go and talk to anybody in a shop and suggest an alternate method of thinking to them, and they look at you like you've got two heads, because all they believe is what their television tells them. The fluoride that they consume in their daily products numbs their brain, their television programs them, and they think it's reality. And they just go about their lives like robots. It's absolutely amazing to see. But it's about time you all woke up, folks. It's really about time people looked around them and started to question their reality a little bit. I mean, like I said, I don't know how more blatant this has to become, but I mean, just the fact that the government's rolling out these body scanners when they've just been banned throughout the entirety of Europe because they're shown to just tear your DNA apart. And they're allowing genetically modified food to be sold here and making sure people consume it by bringing in food bills designed to stop people sharing any of their homegrown food. And yet this GM food is shown, clearly shown, to cause damage to generations of species. And all the information to prove all of this is all there in the public domain if people can be bothered searching for it. But they don't, because they're told by their television, "I don't trust anything you see on the internet. You can only trust us because we're the television. We're the television and we have government approval." And you've got the entire internet trying to scream out and alert people to the fact that all this criminal rubbish is being run by their governments, and yet you've got the two people in Australia who control all of the media in Australia who are telling you, "Oh, no, don't listen to all those thousands and thousands of other people who are screaming out that you're in danger. Just listen to us. Just listen to us. We'll keep you informed, and here's some entertainment. Now make sure you get up in the morning and go to work and collect lots of stuff, or the people won't like you. Remember, the more stuff you have, the higher you are on the social ladder. And after all, that's what's important, isn't it?" People just live their lives in this way. It's quite amazing, folks. People are waiting for the introduction of Brave New World. Well, it's already here. Maybe not in some of its more scientific and reproductive aspects, but as far as the Department of Conditioning goes, well, it's very much alive and well in 2012. But we're being offered a huge opportunity here, folks, to break out of this conditioning and to change reality. In fact, we're being offered more and more opportunities every day. We've had the gift of coal seam gas mining, which has served to unite huge sections of the community to a common cause. We haven't made a lot of progress yet at stopping it, but it is breaking down barriers between people. And so that's the opportunity that lies within the disaster that is coal seam gas mining. And now we have a further opportunity in the release of the film Expendable, which clearly exposes the criminality at the highest levels of the Australian government and the Australian Federal Police. And so there within the tragedy and the travesty of justice that is the plight of poor CHAPELLE CORBY lies the opportunity not only to get her released, but to have the corruption that exists within our government laid bare before all the people of Australia. And when the people that are fighting the battle to stop coal seam gas mining become aware of the level of corruption they are dealing with through the mechanism of something like the film Expendable, exposing the corruption in the CHAPELLE CORBY case, then the people of Australia are even further armed against their government. Because that's what the information contained within this film is, folks. It's a weapon. It's a weapon that can be used to expose the system. They've tried to beat us with their rules they write on paper, and these are the weapons that the government has used against the people, and that they've used their gangs of armed thugs to enforce. But now we have the reports surrounding CHAPELLE CORBY on paper, and our paper very much trumps their paper, because our paper shows that their paper was created by a criminal gang who has complete disregard for the people of this country. So all of these things are gifts and opportunities, folks, if they can be taken that way. And it's only by taking them that way, it's only by seeing them as a gift that you can right the wrong that is being perpetrated against the people. It's only by seeing coal seam gas mining as a gift that you can prevent coal seam gas mining, and it's only by seeing the exposing of Australian government criminality in the expendable film as a gift that we can also stand up and address that issue. And that issue needs to be addressed very quickly. Both issues need to be addressed very quickly, but ultimately both issues are connected because both issues involve corruption at the absolute highest level of the Australian system. And this can only be addressed when the people of Australia decide to peacefully stand in the power that is granted to them via the Constitution of this country. We have this power, folks. It's there indelibly imprinted in our Constitution, and nothing can take that away. It doesn't matter if it's been legislated out of existence by criminals within government, because that legislation is void. The only law that we have in this country is the Constitution of this land, and that is based on natural law, because it gives the people the ultimate say in what happens in this country. The only problem is that it's no longer taught in schools. Many Australian people don't even know we have a constitution, and it's not something that people are aware of how to do. But the information's there, folks, so get a copy of the Constitution, spread it and share it with your neighbours, share the film Expendable, share some of the coal seam gas information that I've got posted on my website, thecrowhouse.com. You can go there, click CSG information, and there's a lot of information there, a lot of it relating to Australia, a lot of it relating to the Northern Rivers area where I live. And this can show your neighbours and show the people around you what is going on in this country. And you can show them the Constitution, and you can show that if we start having town meetings, we start having community gatherings and making people aware of this information, then we can turn things around. But if we don't do it soon, this country will be lost, and it will be lost forever. And I'm really not over-dramatising things here, folks. We are facing a serious situation. And I think it's break time here, so I'll leave it there for now, and we'll continue in a few minutes. Thanks for listening.